Hello, and welcome to Modern Skills in English. Today, we're talking about one of the most difficult moments in student life, the group project. Specifically, that moment when a teammate sends you their part of the work, and it's just not good enough.
I'm living this right now. We have a big presentation next week. My partner sent me slides yesterday, and they're a mess. The information is weak, there's spelling mistakes everywhere. I feel sick just thinking about it.
That's a heavy feeling. What's the voice in your head telling you to do?
It's telling me I have two choices, and both are terrible. Option 1, I say nothing, stay up all night, and secretly rewrite everything myself. I'll be exhausted and angry, but at least the work will be good.
And option 2?
Option 2, I tell him his work is bad. And then what? He gets defensive, we have a huge fight, the project is ruined, and we fail the class. I just don't see a good way out. So, how do I tell someone their work isn't good enough without starting a war?
That question is the perfect trap, because it assumes the conversation must be a conflict.
Isn't it? I'm telling him he did a bad job. That feels like a conflict.
Most students see it that way. The real problem isn't what you have to say. It's how you framed the conversation in your mind. You see it as you versus your teammate.
Right. Me, who wants a good grade, versus him who submitted bad work.
Try a reframe. It isn't you versus him. It's you and him versus the project requirements. The conversation isn't about his ability. It's about the work itself and getting it to meet the standard you both need.
You and him versus the problem. I've never thought of it like that. It sounds better, but it still feels impossible. Where do you even start?
You start by removing the person from the problem. Most of us believe that giving feedback on the work is the same as judging the person who did it.
Yes, exactly. If I say your slides are bad, he will hear you are a bad student. I would probably hear the same thing.
And that's why it feels so personal. We attach our identity to our work. So when the work is criticized, we feel attacked. This belief is what forces you into silence, because attacking a person is never productive.
So I should just accept the bad work?
No, you should change the way you talk about it. The first step is to make your feedback completely objective.
Objective? You mean like a robot? Just stating facts?
Not like a robot, like a scientist. You don't talk about your feelings or his effort. You only talk about what the work itself contains or what it is missing. You separate the work from the worker.
Can you give me an example? What would that actually sound like?
A personal approach sounds like, I don't think you spent enough time on this. There are a lot of mistakes. An objective approach sounds like, I've been reading through the slides you sent. I noticed there are 3 spelling errors on slide 4 and the data source is missing for the chart on slide 5.
Wow, okay. The second one feels less like an attack. It's just information. I'm not saying you are careless. I'm saying the slide has an error.
Exactly. You are pointing at the work on the table in front of you, not pointing at the person sitting across from you. It makes the problem external, something you can both look at together.
Okay, so I start with objective facts. I say slide 4 has spelling mistakes, but he could still get defensive. He could just say, so what? It's not a big deal.
He could. And that happens when feedback feels like a random personal opinion. That's the second common trap, being vague to seem polite. Many students think saying something soft like, maybe we could improve this a little, is kind.
I do that all the time. I think being indirect is safer.
But it's actually unkind because it's confusing. The other person doesn't know what to fix or why. Vague feedback fails because it has no authority. The solution is to connect every piece of feedback to a shared criterion.
A criterion? What do you mean by that? Like a rule?
Precisely. The best criterion is the one you both already agreed on, the project instructions from your professor. Your feedback isn't just your opinion anymore. It's a measure of the work against the official goal.
So I'm not the boss giving orders. I'm just a teammate reading the map.
A perfect way to put it. For example, instead of saying, I think your section is too short, which is your opinion, you can say, I was just rereading the professor's instructions, and it says section B needs to be at least 500 words. Right now, our draft is at 250. How can we expand it to meet that criterion?
That's so much better. It's not my rule, it's the professor's rule. I'm just pointing it out so we don't lose points. It makes us feel like we're on the same team.
Because you are. The criterion, the grading rubric, the project guidelines becomes the reason for the conversation. It's the shared standard you both want to achieve.
All right, I get it. Be objective and use the project rules as my reason. But that still feels like I'm just dropping a problem in his lap. I'm saying, here are all the things that are wrong. Now you go fix them. That could still feel bad.
You're right. And that brings us to the most important turning point. Many people think their job in giving feedback is to identify the problem, but that's only half the job.
What's the other half?
Providing a path forward. If you only point out what's wrong, you make the other person feel judged and alone. The final step is to shift from critic to collaborator. You must always present the problem and then immediately propose a way to solve it together.
Together? But he's the one who made the mistakes. Isn't it his job to fix it?
Is it his job or is it the team's job to submit a high-quality project?
It's the team's job. Okay, I see. So I don't just say, this is wrong. I say, this is wrong, and here's an idea for how we can fix it.
And notice that powerful word you just used, we. Using we and us is critical. It turns a command into an invitation. For example, don't say, you need to find better sources for this. Instead, try, I was thinking this section could be even stronger with a few more statistics. What if I look for a market report and you look for an academic article? We could probably find what we need in an hour.
So I'm not just giving him more work, I'm offering to share the work. That changes everything. It's not an accusation anymore, it's a plan.
It's a plan where you are an active partner. You make it easy for him to say yes. You've presented an objective problem, used a shared criterion as the reason, and proposed a collaborative solution. You've made it a team challenge, not a personal failure.
This framework makes so much sense. Be objective, use the project rules, and propose a solution with we. But I have to ask, what if it still doesn't work? What if this person is just really difficult and gets angry anyway? If this system is so good, why do even good students and professionals still struggle with this?
That is a very important question, because this approach isn't magic. It doesn't control the other person's reaction. Some people may still feel defensive because of their own past experiences or insecurities.
So then what's the point?
The point is not to guarantee a perfect reaction from them. The point is to guarantee a respectful and productive action from you. When you follow this model, you can know for yourself that you handled a difficult situation with integrity and kindness. You did everything possible to make it a productive conversation.
So it's about my actions, not their reactions.
Yes, and in most cases, a calm, collaborative approach will invite a calm, collaborative response. If your teammate still reacts poorly, that is information about them, not a failure of your approach. At that point, the problem is no longer about feedback. It might be a deeper team issue that you need to negotiate in a different way, perhaps with a professor's help.
Okay, that helps. I can only control my half of the conversation, and this way my half is helpful and respectful.
Exactly. Let's put the whole system together. You're not just learning a few phrases. You're building a mental model for healthy team accountability.
Accountability. That word always sounded scary to me, like it means who to blame.
Many people feel that way, but true accountability isn't about blame. It's about shared ownership of the outcome. This model is built on that idea. First, you are objective, which removes blame and focuses on the work. Second, you use a shared criterion, which creates a shared goal.
And third, you propose a solution together, which creates shared responsibility for the next step.
And there it is. You've just described a conversation that isn't a conflict at all. It's an act of collaboration. It honors your commitment to high standards while also honoring your relationship with your teammate.
So the goal of the conversation isn't to tell my teammate he's wrong. The goal is to invite him to join me in making the project better. I'm not pushing him away. I'm trying to bring him closer, to work on the problem as a team.
And how does that feel compared to the two terrible options you started with?
It feels possible. It feels clear. The anxiety I had before was about the fight, about the conflict. But a conversation that's objective and collaborative doesn't feel like a fight. It just feels like a necessary step, like part of the project itself.
Because it is. Learning to propose a change based on a clear criterion is a fundamental part of doing good work with other people.
And when I'm objective, I'm not making it about my feelings. I'm focusing on facts that we can both see. It's a way to negotiate a solution without making anyone feel small.
That's a great way to summarize it. You're learning team accountability, not just how to finish one project. You're building a skill for your entire career.
I think I know what I need to say now. I'm still a little nervous, but I'm not scared anymore. The conversation doesn't feel like a heavy weight I have to carry alone.
It often is just the next step. Hello to everyone listening. We hope this conversation was helpful for you. If there's another difficult student situation or a skill you'd like us to explore, please let us know your ideas in the comments.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.